What's good, YouTube? In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to create this really smooth rotoscope transition. We're going to be utilizing freeze frames as well as rotoscoping and a background slide transition in order to really connect everything together and create this smooth transition. So here in After Effects, I have these two clips playing without the transition, and what we're going to do in order to get started is we're going to go to the second layer and we're going to duplicate the second layer, Control D, and we're going to right click and go to time and freeze frame. What that pretty much does is just freezes that first frame of the second clip. I'm going to make this 10 frames long, so if you hit shift page up or page down, it goes 10 frames forward or 10 frames back. In order to create this transition, I'm going to mask out Sophago using the pen tool. So once you have your subject masked out, I'm going to turn off the layer underneath, and what I'm going to do is soften up the edges by decreasing the mask expansion as well as increasing the mask feather, just so that the edges feel smoother. So once you do that, I'm going to grab that layer and drag it above the first layer because it's going to be transitioning from the first layer to the second layer. So I'm going to name these layers just to make it easier. And what I'm going to do is get that layer and duplicate, Control D, because one's going to be sliding in from the left and the other is going to be sliding in from the right. So what we're going to do is go to the end of the layer and keyframe the position for both the freeze frames, and then go to the beginning of that freeze frame layer. And I'm going to have the bottom layer sliding in from the left, so you just keyframe, have that coming in from the left, and the top one sliding in from the right. And make sure to have the motion blur on for both of them, as well as easy ease to keyframes. And this is what we have so far. And what I'm going to do in order to smooth out the transition even more is I'm going to go into the graph editor and have both layers come in fast in the beginning and then slower towards the end. So the subject is going to come in faster in the beginning and then it's going to slow down. Just like that, it already looks smoother. Modifying the graph editors can definitely make your transitions look a lot smoother in general. So in order to create the next transition, what we're going to do is go to the second clip or the layer that it transitions into, and what we're going to do is double click the second layer and then rotoscope our subject. Grab the roto brush tool, masking out your subject. So once you have your subject rotoscoped, what you want to do is just go frame by frame just to make sure that everything is locked in. You're going to want to hit freeze. What that does is lock in the rotoscope. Go back into your composition, and I'm just going to decrease the shift edge just by a little and increase the feather. And then what we're going to do is duplicate this layer and bring that to the bottom. Make this the background layer, so I'm going to change the name and put Sophago BG for background. And then I'm going to delete the roto brush effect for that layer. And then in order to create that clone transition, what I'm going to do is duplicate this twice, so 1, 2, and then I'm going to just rename these layers just to make it easier for me. Sophago main is going to be the main one, then I'm going to put Sophago left for the one that transitions from the left, Sophago right for the one coming in from the right. What we're going to do is we're going to keyframe the position and make sure to turn on the motion blur for both of them, as well as the background layer, because we're going to be creating a background slide transition. So in order to actually create this effect, what we're going to do is keyframe the positions in the beginning, and I'm going to go 12 frames forward just so that it doesn't feel too quick or too slow. And you guys are going to see once we smooth out the keyframes and then go into the graph editor just to change the way it animates in. I'm going to have it animate right there. You want the amount of distance for the 3 layers similar. So once you animate the position for both the left and the right layers, what we're going to do is go 12 frames forward, and then we're going to keyframe the positions back to its original position. So I'm just going to put 960 and then 960. And then what we're going to do is grab all those keyframes and easy ease them just so it feels smoother. And then I'm going to go into the graph editor and make sure that it comes in faster and then it slows down and then it goes out fast again. So I'm going to do that for both layers. And this is what we have so far. It feels a lot smoother because we adjusted the graphs in order to create that really smooth slide out and then slide in transition. And in order to actually create that background slide transition, what we're going to do is grab all the layers above the first layer and we're going to move it back 10 frames. So click shift page up to go back 10 frames. We're going to grab all those layers, push it back 10 frames, and I'm going to trim the timeline. And what we're going to do in order to create the background slide up is we're just going to keyframe the position, and I'm also going to make that 12 frames long. And what we're going to do is have this slide from the bottom up. So once we have the position keyframed for the background layer, this is what we have so far. and it's feeling a bit slow. So what I'm going to do is grab these keyframes and right click, go to keyframe assistant, easy ease, and then I'm going to go into the graph editor, and then I'm going to make this graph similar to the other ones. And now if we play this back, it feels a lot smoother. But yeah, that's all there is for the effect. If you guys found this video helpful, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.